our leading lady.
Okay, well, she just flew in. She could make it today. Miss Erica Ash.
You're coming. You've been here. That's why we introduced you. You didn't know. Congratulations. Congratulations. Have a seat. I would give you this, but it doesn't work, so we'll just have to forget. So last night, Michael and I were at the Alamo Draft House where we did a Q&A, and we threw questions to the audience. And that portion was so much fun talking to all the viewers. So we've decided that we're going to skip the, pre-planned, discussion and just take it straight to you guys. So without further ado, as I've said that now once before, if anyone has questions that they have for our cast members about the film, please raise your hand. And oh, there you go, right here, sir. Take it away.
That scene where the Indian lady punched the horse, was that a callback to Blazing Saddles from Mongo?
Oh, absolutely. But first, let me write this a little bit. We got another cast member and co-writer over here, Byron Keith Minns. Well, as you may know from Black Dynamite, Bullhorn, and so let's we family here. Let's just questions and just
I will grab the people. You are going to sit down and enjoy yourself.
All right, y'all. Just raise your hands and okay, there you go in the back.
First of all, congratulations, man. My question is, what is the biggest lesson you learned from Black Dynamite? How do you apply it to Outlaw Johnny Black?
Whoa, well, the biggest lesson from Black Dynamite is get really good people, and it makes it much easier. So with this situation, I mean, I cast extraordinary people who happen to be actors, and for me, like, of course, you see a lot of the same family from Black Dynamite here. So, I mean, I wrote the thing with people in mind. So that makes it so much better when it's preparing. And so we were very prepared for it, and that made everything a lot easier. So I got more prepared than I did with Black Dynamite. Of course, this was a much more, testing kind of situation. It's a Western and everything else. And I've never been really on a Western set, much less directed one. So I had to really be prepared.
Yeah, speaking of Westerns and Black Dynamite, is like staying in this lane of blaxploitation something you plan on continuing to do? It's really nice, I like it, but is that your passion, blaxploitation and?
I've done 2 of these, but I've done several other movies. So I do different types. This is we Byron and I intended on doing 3 of these, right?
Okay.
We did Black Dynamite. We were going to do this one, and when there was also a third, like we were going to do like another one like in a horror genre, like kind of like in the Blackula type of lane. But we loved we loved these movies growing up, and it was kind of like, I just love that era of the 70s. I love the music, I loved everything, and I love the fact that the movies had a morality to it, right? And I used to see these movies with Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte, and Uptown Saturday Night. Remember seeing, I don't know if anybody might, Uptown Saturday Night, Piece of the Action, all these type of things, and the whole family could see it, and you felt good about it. You felt uplifted. I wanted to do that for this next generation, and I wanted to revisit that for my generation and above. So that's really what it comes out. So I love to try to recreate the feel and every texture of the '70s, right? Because it was a time when you said brother and you meant it, and you could see it in the people. I would always, and we would always like look back at those movies and say, damn, where did that go? And so we're bringing it back the way we want to.
I have a question for Erica. What do you remember your audition for this film, and what was that like? And cut to now you're sitting here today.
Yeah, I remember my audition happened at Jim Rounds about 5 years ago. I'm dancing and Jillian and Michael are tearing the floor. And he kept over me, he's like, hey, I like your work, I'm gonna work with you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Because that's like Hollywood, right? Everybody got like the character. And I didn't really know him. My brothers were really into Black Dynamite and stuff, but I had never seen it, so I wasn't really familiar. So maybe we just kind of seen each other just in passing. And then he called me one day and he's like, remember when I said we were gonna move together? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I got the script. I'm like, oh, okay, send it. So he sends it, and of course I don't really think anything. I'm just like, I'm gonna read it and see, give it 5 pages. And if I like it 5 pages, then, we'll see. But I was in the raw. It was so hilarious. And I think I had a meeting that I was headed to. I skipped the meeting. I had to finish reading it. It was so amazing. And I immediately fell in love with the character of Bessie. And I called him back and I said, so which character were you kind of thinking of me? He said, Bessie. I was like, sold, done. So that was it. He just kind of had it in mind.
How much fun did you have in the buns, creamy buns? How do you do that with a straight face?
A lot of it we had to, it's just, I don't know, we have a real cool, chemistry when it comes to working together. I was intimidated, I'll be honest, when I first got on set, because the fact that he was doing everything all at once, it was the directing and the starring, he would have these moments where you would have to stop and get everybody together, and it's that serious face, and I'm like, is he gonna kick my ass? It's really, he gets really focused and really serious, and it's really, not scary, but intimidating. And then he busts out laughing, and you're like, oh, but it was really cool. We had a lot of fun in every scene that we did, and I'm really, really grateful. You have those actors like the little girls who have their set group of people that they always work with.
Yes.
And I like the idea of a black production, a black producer having that group that they work with as well. So.
Well, speaking of having that ensemble, you are part of that, the ensemble that actors like, Wes Anderson has his group and Quentin Tarantino has his group and all of that. So working with this man right here, how have you seen him grow as a filmmaker, and how has your relationship grown with the ease of, having done projects together and knowing what the other person wants and needs and have it be so flowing and seamless?
For one, this has been my brother for, 30 years or so. So that right there in itself is the foundation. Respected him always creatively, and he just, he's a sponge. He soaks up knowledge. So anything that he wants to do, he commits to it with the same discipline that he has with the martial arts. So, in approaching this stuff from the moment that we started working together, I knew that it was going to be okay. I knew it was going to be good because, we just have we have that chemistry. When we work and we write, we sit there and we talk, we laugh, and, sometimes we'll think, well, either they'll get it or we're crazy, but we know this is fun. And, and we just click when it comes to working, so that's
All right, sir, right there.
I have a question for Michael. So, I thought this was a great idea. I heard for a while, I'm a huge fan of the first Black Dynamite movie, and I heard
murmurs that there was gonna be, you guys were planning on doing a Black Dynamite 2, but I love the idea that you did this instead. What made you wanna switch gears and just make Outlaw Johnny Black?
Well, there was some obstacles that was getting in the way of doing Black Dynamite 2. You know, I wrote it quite a while ago. So we just went ahead and did this. So this was disconnected to the producers of the first one. So we just kept it, and we went ahead and did this, and we're gonna do the next one. So, that's just basically, just controlling our own, IP, just keep moving with it.
I get it. Are you still gonna do it at some point?
Yes.
Black Dynamite 2?
Well, I mean, possibly.
All right, cool.
It's a great script.
It's better than the first one, actually.
Not so much a question, but a comment or just praise for the film. I really like the way you all were able to marry the comedy and, as you said, wanting to put morality in there, a story of redemption, a story of you come back to your origin, and at the same time telling a story from the Nadir period, post-Civil War America, and not have it be overly slave narrative, buck-eyed, I'm scared of you white man. I appreciate the dignity that the characters carry throughout the film, while still being funny and still driving home morality. That was very dope.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Was that conscious?
Absolutely.
Nailed it.
It was that.
Hi, I just want to say I love the fight choreography. It's so kinetic, so physical. Could you describe how much time it takes to plan these things?
You'll be surprised, but since I've been doing it for a long time, every fight scene that you saw me do, I created on the way to the set. Even the slap thing, I realized I had time to do that, and I was, I think Eddie was driving. He picked me up. His associate producer Eddie Henry. He's driving us, and and I'm doing this in the car. And my wife's used to me. He's figuring on something out. But I'm kind of going through it in my head. So once I get on set, then I basically, expose it. I mean, I tell Paul Logan, the guy who's I did the scene with, that we're going to do this. And so nobody knows that choreography. Nobody knows but me until I get there. And the same thing when I fight the guys in the first scene. All of that just pretty much I have in my head, but I've been doing it for so long. And my stunt team, almost everybody you saw doing a basic stunt is a stunt coordinator on another thing, on big movies. So even the main stunt coordinator is one of the biggest, he's the most successful living Western stuntman alive. His name is Terry Leonard. That guy is like Steven Spielberg's guy. He's way back in the day. He's the guy who did the stunt with Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he crawls under the car, comes around and throws the guy out. And he's made records and all that kind of stuff. But I had such an amazing stunt team that all the fights we did, it's kind of like with a bunch of musicians and you have a jam session. So even that big saloon fight and all that, even the little guy, Keon, he never did a fight scene before. He's like, well, one day I would like to. I'm like, you gonna do it today? and we showed him something, right? And it's actually, I think I put it on my Instagram. We showed him something and shot it 15 minutes later, and it's in the film. So, since I have all the martial arts and stunt background, that's easy. So I made sure I'm working on the story stuff and making sure that I have a story that, you know, it's funny, but when it gets serious, that I got people that's going to deliver it, that you're going to feel that. Like Glenn Turman, you know, he roots this thing so well. That was the first and only person I thought to play that role. And then Anika Noni Rose. That was my dream. And this one here, I mean, I've been studying her for a long time. She is so amazingly talented and funny. And it's just about giving people their due. Because a lot of people, they overlook, you know. But everybody punched above their weight class. They're like, I got some bad people in here. You know, Gary Anthony Williams is one of the funniest human beings I've ever seen in my life. And so you just cut him loose. And Tony Baker, you know Tony Baker. For so many years. I mean, his time, I've seen him for so many years, and I mean, he would change up his routines, his stand-ups. He's kept it fresh. He never did the same thing. He kept, like, he's one of the most evolved and funniest human beings, funniest comedians, and he so worked more than this man deserves this. I mean, so this is like a joy of mine. I get a chance to like really put people where they need to be. Like, you know, it's like it makes too much damn sense to have him finally in a movie.
Quietly that needs to raise their hand, that needs to come down here. Anyone? All right.
I have a question. What was it like to be like in a big budget film like Spawn, and it's like a cult classic, to Black Dynamite, to this, where you helm this, you get to work with people you love. How fulfilling is it to be able to do both things? Each could be somebody's dream, and you've been able to do both. What was that like? Well,
it's really about living to your potential. And so, I mean, this is really something that I really love. I mean, one of the things I like the most is on set. And we were like such a family on set. It was so amazing. And like, when you're on set, there's grips and electric and people doing that, and they like put up a flag or a light and they go about their business. They don't normally care about anything else. They do that and go home. But we had the crew was asking for scripts. They asked for scripts, and they actually told us that it's the first time they brought their children to set. It was so, we had such a good time. Because the way I look at it is like, I mean, it's like we all left our homes wherever we were from, and basically like we ran away and joined the circus. and we're making a living at it. Oh, a bunch of misfits all together, right? So to me, there's no excuse for bickering and all that crazy crap. I'm trying to, but you know how people act all like, I don't know, negative.
The size of your trailers.
Yeah, that kind of bullshit. Like so I mean, it's like we have won, So it should only be that way. It should only be fun, and especially we got all these talented people, and we have something, and we're making something that's going to outlive us.
That's right.
So
yeah, it's legacy, right?
Yeah, so I want everybody who took their time. I don't care if you dump in the garbage. I want everybody who's who's on that set to be proud that they spent their time together. You know, we did something here, you know? And, you know, I think that's infectious. And it's from the top down. I so cherished everybody's contribution. And so I think maybe that helped, and with people being extraordinary people anyway, that, you know, it's like we all appreciated our situation. And you know, we did something, and I'm glad you guys will like it.
It speaks volumes to you as a person that you were able to get such heavyweights to come and be a part of this. You know, we had yes, she was doing a whole other film nearby, and she came by because she wanted to be a part of it. And just sitting here looking at the final product and seeing, wow, he got this person, you know, having been in different films where they really wanted their dream cast and they weren't able to get their first or second or third choice because nobody liked them and they didn't want to, you know, they didn't want to work with that particular producer or that particular director. It just really speaks volumes that not only, you know, you put people on, but people who have been on and who are, you know, themselves legends would come back and willingly just be a part of the production that you're doing. I think it's definitely worth noting. You're going for.
Thank you.
We have a question up there, but first, 1 second. I have a question for the other three actors here. That very last scene, everyone was fighting. Like everyone was doing some kind of fighting. Even you with the gun, and the gun didn't work, and you threw it. And how? I mean, because Michael is the fighter, how did you guys feel having to like jump in the ring and all contribute with your fighting skills? I mean, or lack of, and having to all of a sudden find them.
I practiced my windmill in the car. I was just driven, and then all of a sudden, we stopped at a red light, and I'm like, oh. And then it came to me, and then when I got there, I had to teach everybody else. It was the whole thing.
Okay, I want everyone's answer on this.
I didn't have any fight choreography. If you notice, I wasn't in the fights. My whole role was tucked in. Everything I did, I was stealth mode. So I was in the fight behind the scenes. I beat up somebody behind one of the outhouses. That was my contribution as a sheriff. But I was sneaky with it. I ain't even seen them shoot that day. I don't know where I was. Y'all shot the big fights. They got me the hell up out of there. They were like, all right. So you rap. I was like, but the fights, no, you good. And that was the first time I ever rode a horse. Ever in life. In life. Not only did he give me my first film role, I didn't get cut, ever. It was the first time I ever saw myself on a theater screen. He's stuck with me for life. Whatever he needs, yes. That was the first time I ever rode a horse, and I was just like sitting there trying to be all cool, but kind of mortified. That horse was like, Tone, I know you be doing the animal voiceover. But I had the wing piece on, I had the mustache, I was brave. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that. But you know what I was thinking, and the other question you asked me about him growing as a director and whatever. You know, aside from the excellent job that he did, you know, on other films as well, but especially this one, when he jumped in and directed The GOAT, that was what I did, okay? We were in the midst of the shot, we were trying to get the shot, and all of a sudden he was like, you know, I gotta get this. And the wrangler was having trouble getting the goat to like move and do what, you know, and he just grabbed the carrot. And I mean, and we were able to get the shots, you know, as you saw. You know,
that was the best reacting by a goat I've ever seen. That's a whole category unto itself during the Oscars, right? All right, so there's a question up there, sir, in the back row. Yes, you.
Two things, like,
I invest. I got the T-shirt, like
Woo!
sign. I love it.
Okay. Thank you.
So I can wear this with pride. The second thing is, would you ever do a cartoon version of, like, do a like how you did Black Dynamite? Do the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I ain't drawing it.
That part.
Okay.
Sir in the blue shirt.
I wasn't working with Jim Brown. Obviously, with him being Westerns, I'm assuming this is probably his last role before he passed away. How was that?
Well, let me tell you, I just got to the point where I can get up and keep myself together. I sometimes, like, when that comes up, at the end, it takes me to another place because that's my hero up there, right? Jim Brown was my hero since I was a kid, and we became very close. And Jim was like, I spent more time with Jim than my own biological father. We did a lot, and even in Black Dynamite, I wore some of Jim's clothes that he wore in Slaughter. We were the same size. The fact that he was the first person outside of the production of Black Dynamite, I took it to him, and he was the first person I shared the movie with. He and I sat in his basement, his screening room, and he laughed. And when he laughed, that was like my dad telling me everything is okay. So I based a lot of my character on him. So Jim was retired. He wasn't doing any more movies, but he made an exception and came out and did this. This was his last movie that he did in life.
Did I see Michael Madsen?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. In regards to Black Dynamite, I know you shot it with vintage cameras and even had Adrian Young do like the vintage score. Did you have that in mind for this film as well, to give it that same feel?
Well, actually, the musical supervisor, David Hollander, was the music supervisor for Black Dynamite. He was also the music supervisor for this. And he had concentrated for his last 10 years. He was concentrating in spaghetti Western, Italian spaghetti Western music, and actually befriended Ennio Morricone before he passed away, and got original Ennio Morricone, of course, man with the score, Good, Bad, and Ugly, the greatest Western composer alive, and we got it for this too. And he sadly passed away before we finished the movie, but we got that library. And so what you're hearing is absolutely like music done in the 70s from several Italian Western composers. And
All right, sir, you in the hat. Yes, I know you had your hand raised.
What was the budget of the film, and how did you get executive producers to contribute to a production this unique? And did you shoot any of that in Connecticut at the studio, Gigantic Studio?
No, I shot this in 2019, but before the pandemic. You might notice that the kid who played the young Johnny Black is the same kid that plays.
Oh my God.
Played Till.
Yeah.
Emmett Till.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He's also in the crossover. So that gives you an indication of how long ago that was. But this was all done independently, with independent money. Why that?
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you. You're one of my big fans. I've been watching all your movies. I want to ask you, what is your goal? What do you really want as business that you really want to do. Because you got so much great potential. I feel like you haven't really reached that place in your career that you really deserve to be. So what do you really want in this industry, business, acting career? I watch everything, most everything you've done. And so,
Well,
you've been good in everything. I feel like even in some of the heroes other than Stunt that you did, I think you deserve to be in stuff like Marvel and a lot of great things. So, where do you go? What do you really want?
Man, I just want to keep on doing what I'm doing, man. Do my own stuff. We finally get to a place where, you know, I can get my own money and make my backers proud and continue to do things like this and connect with the audience. Because, I mean, you know, you build a base of trust with your audience. They hold you up, you know. So this is just a part of the whole movement of that. And so, you know, I'm really very passionate about us telling our own stories. Right? And you know, if we band together, we can do a whole lot of that. And so I'm making a lot of moves, connecting with, you know, Africa, connecting with a lot of overseas, because it's not just about this country. We are very respected in several other countries. And so I want to create the new Michael Jai Whites, and I want to be behind the scenes eventually to get all these other things done. So that's my goal, is to continue to do this and be behind a lot of other talented people and make a way for them as well.
Can you maybe expand a little bit about the studio that you are creating? We saw the name up there, Gigantic, Gigantic, and all the plans that you have for everything to go under that banner.
Yeah, I'm building a studio in Connecticut. To answer your question, that studio is not even open yet completely. But I still do things under my banner, Gigantic Entertainment. Just like if you've seen the movie As Good as Dead, that was very successful. I did that in Mexico, and I've got some other things that I'm working on. But I can't really get into other films because we can only before the waiver and everything else, we only talk about this movie right now. Yes.
I have two different questions. Tony, you answered the one about the horse because that was one of them originally. But one, when you were standing, Tony, in front of the house and you were doing the distraction so he could save her, was that freestyle a lot or was that mainly script? And the second question is, when you went, not Tony, but Michael Jai White, when you went to the oil field for the first time, the sky was gorgeous, and all I could think of, where was this shot?
Go ahead, Tom.
Is it real?
I definitely freestyled, you know. He was like, Tony, just do what you do. And I was like, say less. such and such and which, and then I was just, buying time. So, I'm freestyle McGee, so I was just up there talking. I was just saying stuff, putting words together that didn't even match, and then and only then can you create. It was like Melissa on the Spectrum commercial we shot the other day. But that's all I did, so yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the improv is just, these people, Tony and Gary Anthony Williams never worked together before, till this. And I'm talking, they would take what's on the page and just create something like that. Oh, skit, scat, and all that kind of stuff. That's these guys. And this woman, it's so hard to keep a straight face in the same scene with her. When she's losing it, man. There was only one take I could keep my face, because I don't know I think she really tries to get you. She tries to get you. So she's slick, but she tries to get you. They're trying to mess you up. But,
Guys, we have, I mean, you see, we're ignoring their lighting cues.
What cues?
So we do have to wrap it up, but do we have to wrap it up?
No, you don't. It's automated. Everything's automated. So
Okay, we can keep going because we can keep going.
By the way, the sky. Now check this out. This is this still working? No. But the VFX team we had was no joke. It's a place called Occlusion. That sky was enhanced by VFX. So those stars, all of that was here in California. We don't have that sky. We got smog. So, but check this out. Not one gun was shot in this whole movie. Not one squib or anything. That's just nothing but dead guns. No explosions whatsoever. That was created afterwards. Even the smoke that's coming from the gun, all of that was VFX. So
but why did you do that?
Because you don't need to, endanger people by, shooting them.
Was that done as a response to what happened on that?
No, this was done in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. This was done in 2019, way before that happened. So it's just not necessary. So this place, Occlusion, even, I mean, so many things that they enhanced that it's like mind blowing. So, big up to them because they really, even that town, it wasn't even, the mountains weren't even there. They created the mountain range. That town was not, it was about maybe 50 feet long.
It was short.
It's about 50 feet long. It was green screen and all that behind that was created. So, big up to Occlusion.
So, first of all, I'd say I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm very curious to what your approach to the depiction of the Native Americans and asking of how you
Well, of course. So, what I was going for authenticity. Now, so to do a movie circa 1971, right? Who am I going to cast? I'm going to cast a clear white dude, right? As a Native American. If you notice, now there's a lot of real Native Americans that were cast. Like in the background, you see real Native Americans staring daggers at him like they want to kill his ass. If you really look, they're like that, right? But so what for me casting somebody who's clearly Caucasian is a testament to what would happen. And because if I cast a Native American, then you don't see that message, right? And it's actually not authentic to that time. So to bring that up, and you use humor as a way of sending messages. The same way Mel Brooks could sing, "Springtime for Hitler" in the movie, to take the air out of something that could be conceived as very dark. In the same way we're doing this. I mean, sadly, the reality of this. I wrote this. This is basically pre-Tulsa. That's what this is. There were so many towns like Hope Springs that were decimated by Klan and all these people who wanted to keep these black towns from prospering. And the crazy thing is, this thing that we joke about here, this WWR BBM, is real. That was the basis on them decimating black towns. But there's a way that you deal with these things, and we can look at it and with humor make these statements and these messages. All right, the same way what Brother Townsend did with Hollywood Shuffle. There's a way that we can do these things, and we put them, we can put them into our control. So we take the air out of those, and then really the overlying message is, what do we do with that? We know what these tragedies had, right? But what can we, but making the suggestion of how do we move on and gain our prosperous lives after that? Do we hold on to that? Do we, hold on to the hot coals? And so I'm making a suggestion that, hey, throwing it out there. What is forgiveness? So that's the message of this whole thing. Then the power of that, and the power that we shed, those shackles and move on. It empowers us, and it doesn't leave our captors with the power. So that's kind of what that's about, and that's really the message of this. But but I chose to use a Western which is steeped in revenge as a way to go, okay, to make you feel like, okay, you want the same revenge that this man does, but now, do we really want that? Does that make us better? Okay? So, not to say, tell you exactly, what I think, it's just for you to think of it, just for it to cross your table so you can make your decisions. So, if I can get you to think, it's great. The first screening I had, producer friend left the house and called me the next day and said, I contacted my mom. I haven't spoken to my mother in 8 years, but because of your movie, I called her. Now we're gonna get together. And so when he told me that, I thought, I'm doing something right. Okay, that makes me feel some kind of way, That makes me, that's the intention. Yeah, we can laugh and, that's it too. But like, if you can walk away with something, hey man, then that time that everybody spent away from their families to make this movie, I feel more justified about that.
I have a question for the other actors here. When you look back on your time working with Michael on this film, are there any particular shoot days or scenes that really, really stand out for you? Like for me, it's just the ridiculous bird costume. It's just you're running through. But for you guys on the set, were there certain shoot days that either was really difficult, or you guys were just in stitches, or just just something for the books, for the grandkids that you'll be able to recall? Including you too, Michael.
I actually really liked trying to get you on the scene because he's trying to be so stoic and so straight faced when he comes in the front. I feel like it went on a lot longer than, of course we had to cut it down and, cut it around, but it was fun because we just kept ripping, we kept going, and I almost got him. And then I didn't think that I had, and then he came to me after and told me that it was hard, but he kept a very stoic face, so it made me try harder to get him to crack and to laugh. I think, what did we do that, 10, 15 minutes?
Troublemaker, no.
You must have the best outtakes, or a blooper reel that's amazing for that, yeah.
I think overall, just being able to perform with him. We've done, 2 movies that are ours, but we also did another film together. And it seems like every time he and I are on the screen, it's always, to me, it's magic. And so after having gone through Black Dynamite, which was, phenomenal, to be able to do this, and, just sit across from him and the little talks that we have in between, and, it was just great, it was just great. Yeah, I think that's my best film.
I got to meet Jill Scott, so I was mad excited. I was Jill Scott, when's she coming? When's she coming? And then when she was in the trailer, I just came in singing. Jill Scott. It was probably awkward for her, but I was having a good time. It was really fun to shoot this. Like, I don't remember how many days I shot, but it was just a great vibe. It was like, man, if every film could be like this is just, because as much as I love acting, call times, wardrobe, hair and makeup, that's a lot. And so, but when you have the fun and you talking music, he would come in there and he had his little music in his studio. We had the music going, we just in there talking, getting the hair done. Then you would go into director mode, like, all right, man, hurry up, what's taking so long? You gotta have that dynamic. And his wife was just a perfect producer. She came in with the good energy. And like, he would be cranked out, like, man, they're taking all day. She would come in, hey, y'all, how you doing? It's a good husband-wife dynamic. And like when I rapped, I was like, man, I wanted more. And I'll be ready to rap. I'll be brittle rap and stuff. Let's shut it down. And I was just honored to be a part of it. And Kev didn't see Black Dynamite until like 3 days ago. He wanted to throw him under the bus. You got on me and my Sister Act 2 had me all over social media because I've never seen Sister Act 2. Revenge. Oh, but the revenge, I shouldn't have got the revenge. See? And Erica's hilarious. Like, this is the first time I met her on set, and I was just like, yo, who is this woman? And she is hilarious. Like, I know she be doing dramas and such, but the hilarity of this woman, oh man, y'all just got the tip of the iceberg. And he was in South Central. Bring the kid in, man. That's Ray, man. He was in Trespass. He was Trespass with Ice Cube and Ice-T. He was one of the dudes. You survived in that movie.
All right, there's some questions up there, yes. Back row first.
All right, so I guess my first question is already answered, like in regards to, I guess, Outlaw Johnny Black being kind of a spiritual successor to Black Dynamite. But my question is, like, the Dynamite in the movie, was that kind of like a reference to say, I ain't forgot about it? Like, we shot the Dynamite with the pistol?
Yeah, we have a version where the dynamite was black. And I'd say that's a little too much.
And they're, yeah, right with the white hat, yes, sir.
Working on a film where there's so much creative energy and creative people, what is the best communication tool you use to understand what creative compromises each other must make in order for the best thing for each of y'all to work?
The cool thing was, as a director, with this cast, they pretty much, they would improv, but in support of the narrative. Some people would just, there's certain folks that they just go off the rails. But, and sometimes you have to, like, it's like herding cats after that happens. But everybody here so understood to support the absolute, they just would amp up what was there. And, really, I mean, the improv type of people they were put in those spaces. Like, I expected that from Tony and Erica, and pretty much, and Gary. Those are really the people who improv. Everything else is pretty much to the script.
Right here.
Boss sitting on Black Dynamite, this movie, everything you did. But will you be going back to animation? Because there was a Black Dynamite cartoon that you got. So will we see more animation?
Well, I mean, that's something that it was asked earlier. I don't know. So it depends on the success of this and some animator coming to me with an idea, because I ain't drawing nothing. So yeah.
I'm an animator. I'm gonna come to you with
Well, so it's up to him.
My question was, now I heard the story you told about the fiendish Dr. Wu, Knife Throw, and you were inspired by Ice-T's story he told you. Is there any fighting in this film that was inspired by a story that you may have been told, and it crept into the choreography?
Oh boy, I got so many references. There's so many like Easter eggs in this that what? Oh yeah. There's a lot of different references, but personal stories I can't think of one right now, but I know there's several. I'll think of it. Up there.
There's a scene where Jessie, when they brought her in to see Tom, that short scene had a lot of messages in it where it was like referencing like her being like slave, raped, because he said he could take her if he wanted her. There's a part where she said, "You will never take me." And also where he talked about her intelligence and how they were a good match. So like strong, intelligent black women not being a match for black men. So I was just wondering, what was your thought behind that scene? Because it seemed to be packed with so many messages. It was like Keenan Wayans should have jumped in and said message, like right there. Because there was just so many messages in that one scene.
Well, I'm just trying to write from a truth that I see. You know, it's almost like my hand is guided. I basically, my style is I see the movie and then I write what I'm seeing. And so I kind of have my own shot list. Those are internal, understand the movie making process. But like I kind of write my shot list. And I try to be very visual in my descriptions so the reader can really see what I'm seeing. But yeah, there's a lot of messaging, and there's a lot of things that date back to history that I'm writing in there. Yes, sir.
So how many saxophones this one get?
I can't, since I'm in it, I try not to, give something I'm in some saxophone. I'm gonna give it 5 on the strength. You know what I'm saying? But it turned out good. Like if I wasn't in this, I would enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all could be like, whatever, but it really was. It was like, it was funny. It was dope, great messages. It was like the action, the comedy, the messages behind it, like, and it being independently filmed and funded and, just a black story. And it wasn't like, it didn't feel heavy-handed with the messages. It was like, they was just all throughout in a funny way. And so that's right up my alley. So I was just like, man, this is, because, we know about what happened in black towns and black cities and black all the time. So it's just like, yeah, it do be like that. And so even with the allegations on, something happened to a white woman, and to have a boy in this film that was also in Teal, which happened to him in real life, it was just like, it's just, it resonates. So, those type of films can carry on far longer than all that other fluff that just comes out and everything's forced. And I didn't feel like it was forcing us to laugh in this. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like forced comedy. Like, I'm hard on comedies, even though I'm a comedian. I'll be like, man, they forcing it. And what I liked about this and like Black Dynamite, in your style of comedy, you be dead serious. And that makes it even more funny. Like when Black Dynamite be saying stuff, you be like, no, yeah, I am smiling. It's just funny. It's like he dead serious. Like when I watch The Naked Gun and Frank Drebin just be dead serious, I be dying. Because it's like he's not even trying to make us laugh. And I'm looking at nobody because I'm the only one watching it to laugh. So I feel like, the movie came out really good. Like this is something I wouldn't have to be embarrassed about. Because not everything you shoot, you gonna like. They be like, I see you in the movie, man. You want us to check it out? You be like, this is something you can take pride in. Like, yo, go watch it. Because I got a text message on my phone right now. Should we go watch it? I'll be like, hell yeah. It's a good time. So yeah. So.
I got a question for y'all. This is a question that sometimes it goes over, goes past people. Who saw this man take the guns off the? That's about right. That's about right. Most people. Do you realize when he got the guns, he actually steals the guns off the wall in camera, but most people don't see it. Really? But it's usually about 40% of people who see you steal a gun because they're distracted by what other people are saying.
The message.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like that's always interesting. It's been a consistent 40% of people. Yet I see people going, "What? He stole the guns?" Yeah, exactly. He takes the guns off the wall on camera, but a lot of people don't see that.
You got to watch it again now.
It's because they didn't see you as a threat. The whole movie, like you were helping them, so they weren't looking for you.
Stealth mode. I was tucked in. Tucked in, man.
In the yellow, in the back.
Was there anything that you filmed that was cut from the final movie that you wish wasn't in the shoot?
No, everything that was cut, I wish was cut. Yeah, because I mean, I'm tough on myself. Yeah, so it's still, a long movie, but I had to make it to where you didn't feel like it was long. Yeah, I tried to get tighten it up. There was a number of things, and there was going to be a whole big song and dance number in that saloon, but we went, we cut that.
Did you keep any artifacts or mementos, any of you, from this film?
We weren't allowed to do that. That would be called stealing.
How long did it take for you to perfect his bullhorn voice in that scene when you was acting like the preacher? No, I'm talking to you.
Me?
His voice when you was acting like you was a preacher.
I don't think I perfected it.
Just like
really, because we've been hanging around each other a lot. But I don't know if I could do that voice. There's no voice like that. His voice is like, every single time I see this movie, I go, my God, that voice does not sound human. Like it's like another quality. Like I don't know, it's something he just does this naturally.
It doesn't sound like him at all.
Yeah.
I got a story about that. When we first started, writing Black Dynamite, we were going through I'm mimicking characters, and I'm doing voices and saying this character should sound like this character should sound like that, and the whole time I'm doing bullhorn, but I'm saying, oh, you know what, this actor would be great doing it. And I'm doing the bullhorn voice, and I'm saying, yeah, and this is what, and he just looks at me and goes, why don't you do it? And at that point, I was in writing mode. I had no intentions of doing it, but, once he said that, all of a sudden I said, oh, all right, cool, and that's how that happened.
Mask Man.
Thank you. Just two things. First, somebody mentioned Jim Brown earlier, so I also wanted to applaud you for putting Fred Williamson in the scene too, giving him his respect at the end when they were up on the balcony, because it actually answered the question I was gonna have when I came here. Because after the first Black Dynamite, I wondered if you were ever gonna put any of the blaxploitation actors in any of the movies. So you did it at that last scene. Obviously, that Glenn Turman in there, and. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the voice of the dead reverend, was that Louis Gossett Jr.?
Yes, it was. Louis Gossett Jr. Sharp. Yeah, and Fred is also one of my heroes. If anybody watches Vlad TV, they see right now he's playing. I brought Fred into Vlad TV because I'm like, you got to culture this thing up a little bit, So and then I kind of ducked in on this session. So, but yeah, Fred's another hero of mine that we're quite close. And both of them, I mean, I don't know where I'd be, if those two men didn't exist. because I saw a representation of what I wanted to be when I was a younger man. When I was a kid, I said, I want to be like this. And, you know, and as it turned out, I mean, this is in straight homage to them. Actually, they did a movie together called Take a Hard Ride. And we basically clothed them in the same outfits that they wore there. Like, you know, so there's a lot of homage stuff that people will be unpacking for a long time. There's Billy Jack stuff. There's Into the Dragon. I don't know who sees the Into the Dragon reference.
No.
Okay, it's going to be interesting when you see because there's going to be a matchup. So some things I made shot for shot with very famous movies that you can play them side by side, and they're shot for shot. But
what was like the first conversation that you had with your DP, and then like over time being a director, what's one of the biggest things or big takeaways that you had in that relationship and working with other DPs?
Well, I've known Keith Smith for a long time. We worked together before, so I don't know what the first conversation I had with him, but you know, it's all about, you know, just kind of taking what's in my mind and putting it down there for him. There was somebody right there.
Is there anything you would do differently or change?
Honestly, if I had $50 billion to do this movie, I'd have the same cast. and $48 million in my pocket. So no, really, it's I wanted to do the best movie possible, and there's times where, you know, they'll talk to you about like, oh, this person's popular. I could give a damn about that, honestly, because to make the best movie is just getting the best people.
Yeah.
Really, and so that's the thing. So you know, I got my dream cast, and so there's not much I would do different.
And chemistry is so important too, and you can have the biggest movie star in the world and not have chemistry. And it's so clear that all of you have this amazing chemistry that it's undeniable and it's not imitable anywhere else. You know, it's so distinct to this acting ensemble that you have created.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I had a question. You guys said you guys shot in 2019?
Yes.
What was your post process like with COVID and everything?
Oh my goodness. That actually was I almost said a blessing. Now look, COVID's not a blessing, of course, but it afforded me the opportunity to sit with the material. I edited this alone. Most of it, I edited me and my computer.
Oh, wow.
And I would have an idea, and I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go and start putting in numbers, going to the frame that I wanted, knowing this educated me to be such a better director. Even the music spotting, this is the first I music spotted this. It sounds like it was like I had what do you call it? What's it called again?
Orchestra?
No.
Composer?
I don't know why I'm missing. A composer. Normally movies like this get composed later, but I sat with the music for so long, thousands of songs, to where I was able to compose the score for the movie kind of in reverse. So finding every little bit of songs and everything else and spotting them to the frame and to the note. And it would drive my wife crazy. I mean, it's just always getting up and so when I dreamt, I was working in my dreams. And I get up and just, but if any normal situation, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I had every frame of everybody and all that, so so during the pandemic, it gave me an opportunity to work nonstop. And so it was, I'd say it was kind of a blessing for me to have that time, but I would never say, of course I would say that if somebody wants to take it out of context with people, but that's it's a good question because it changed the way I do things, and I'm going to be doing things like that. I'm probably going to do the same process every film I direct from now on.
I got a story for you on how keyed in he was. We had a moment where we were talking about how to finish the last scene, the last showdown. And, we expect Johnny Black to be able to outdraw him, so that wasn't a good way to finish it. And we were just, trying to figure it out. We talked about the Bible thing, but it wasn't fully fleshed out. And, it was like, well, we're going to have to figure out something or whatever. And so we're going to go to sleep on it, whatever, and stuff like that. He wakes up in the middle of the night. I got it, And he calls me in the morning, and he came up with the idea of holding the gun behind the Bible and presenting the Bible. But that was, that's like a testament to how we work, and like I said, with the commitment, because in that process, we're always thinking, always trying to make things better, and and like he said, it lives with you. So you'll dream about it, you'll wake up, it's just like that. And so that's like one of those moments, So I mean, that's the beauty of like when you really just allow the creativity to just flow.
Yeah, I came into your trailer and I had the Bible like this, and he didn't know what was going on, and I had him looking at it, and then I went like this, and I turned the gun, and he's like, I said, "This is it," and he was like, "Oh shoot!" Remember? Because if it works in real life, if I can hold this Bible and you can't tell I have a gun behind it, and then I present it, well then we know it works. So it's just like if something works in real life, all you gotta do is really capture it. So it's just about really trying to like go the extra mile and make it work. But anyway, I don't know. I think we got to get going.